Welcome to Black Children's Books Read Aloud. Oh My Left Eye. Written by Dr. B. When Andy was a baby, like most babies do, he'd cry. But when he wasn't crying, something stuck out about his eyes. They did not look ahead straight the way most children's eyes do. But sometimes, things like this are what make you uniquely you. Still, Andy's parents were worried. They took him to the eye doctor to see. Was there something going on here that really shouldn't be? An eye doctor has a name. It's a tricky one to say. They're called ophthalmologists. And if you want, you could be one too someday. The first doctor Andy saw was not terribly worried about his eyes. Let's monitor them as he gets older. If this got better on its own, I wouldn't be surprised. The second doctor Andy saw had another idea with a catch. Let's help Andy exercise his eyes and cover one at a time with an eye patch. Andy did not like the eye patch at all, as it covered and blacked out his eye. Every time he had to wear it, he would make a fuss and cry. Nothing had worked so far to correct Andy's eyes and make them straight. His parents were determined to help and fix this very important trait. At 3 years old, Andy saw a new doctor. He went without screaming or kicks. Her name was Dr. Panda, and she promised him a fix. Dr. Panda ran many tests. It's strabismus, she later said. It's when the eye muscles have trouble focusing, and the eyes wander around instead. Now that Andy had a name for what he had, he was one step closer to getting better. Dr. Panda suggested surgery. She'd operate on Andy's eyes if he'd let her. But Andy was so young. After all, he was only 3. His parents were nervous but went through it, especially if surgery could help Andy see. The day of surgery, Andy was so brave. As they gave him medicine to make him sleep, the doctor spent more time on the left eye where the damage was extra deep. When he woke up, Andy was scared. He was worried his eyes would hurt. So he called Dr. Panda over, even though he was unable to inert. "It's okay, Andy," she said. "You'll open your eyes when the time feels right. And if that time's not now, don't worry. Just give it an extra night." A few hours later, in the evening, what Dr. Panda said came true. Andy opened his eyes a bit. His parents were thrilled too. About a year later, when Andy was learning coloring in class, his teacher called and said he was having trouble, that on his tests he did not pass. Andy's mother called Dr. Panda. Once again, she saved the day. When she spoke to Andy's parents, she knew exactly what to say. "Andy seems to be colorblind," Dr. Panda sweetly said. She explained what this meant to his parents. His mother put her hands upon her head. "Now, what do we do to fix this?" she asked Dr. Panda with a groan. Dr. Panda said some conditions are like this. They go away just on their own. But not color blindness, unfortunately. That typically lasts a person's whole life. But not being able to see colors is no reason to feel sadness or strife. You see, for Andy, this was a good outcome. He was able to fix his eyes. And to Andy, that was worth more than seeing colors because he's very wise. and for his vision and focus, and for his eyes that improved with such. Andy knew he had Dr. Panda to thank, and he loved her so very much. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Most importantly, please support the author by purchasing their book. Until next time.